My partner, 28M, is a Trump supporter. I, 25F, can't respect him. My partner, 28M, and I, 25F, have been together for the last 4 years, notably long distance for the last 2 years of our relationship up to now. We met at the end of a graduate program for public law. AKA we were constantly discussing politics and policy impacts on people. We've been long distance to pursue jobs prior to law school. He worked in accounting, I worked as a military historian, and are still currently long distance. I would consider us the classic case of opposites attract. We laugh at all the same jokes and we can banter for hours about nothing. It feels like he is the other half of my brain. To be very real with y'all, I am not someone who cares about physical appearance of my partner because I'm more interested in an intellectual connection. We bonded greatly over a mutual interest in 20th century military history. The opposite comes from our different political views. Given the subject matter of our graduate program, he told me very early on that he was a classical conservative. I never got clarification on what he meant by this over the last 4 years, and a registered Republican. On the other hand, I spent the last election cycle campaigning for Democratic candidates and I've always only known voting blue. In the last 4 years, I have not skipped any opportunity to grill him on items of constitutional justice and general ethical principles, and I grew to love him over the years because I felt like we mutually agreed on items of political and social importance. I've always been very America first, in the sense that I believe the most in extending liberty and justice for all to everyone, especially immigrants and historically marginalized communities. I am going to get really honest here. I feel stupid saying this and it's probably the main reason why I am using a burner. There has been unspoken tension since the 2024 election with Trump coming into office. My partner only told me he voted for Trump at the end of election day, nearly 3.5 years into multiple discussions at length. Even as a self-proclaimed socialist, I come from a family of Midwestern libertarians who don't support the current administration, another story, so I can honestly say I understand the conservative perspective of many Americans. But most importantly, I am intimately familiar with the voices of conservatives and Republicans against Trump. I thought my boyfriend was one of those. I was wrong. He spends every day engaging in conversations about how poorly the state of America and the economy are going. But he refuses to acknowledge his part in voting his president in. I don't know, I guess the cognitive dissonance is really icky to me? Any political discussion has now become a regurgitation of Fox News headlines, or he's asking if I've seen specific content from random alt-right creators. He sends me links to their content as if they were funny memes, instead of an hour-long think piece on why a balding man should be allowed to own his wife. I feel like I don't respect my partner anymore. Politics aside, not being able to have a backbone and owning up to your beliefs is sad. I can't help but think this man cannot be the future father of my children or the man making decisions in my name. I guess the question here is, do I give him a chance to make this work? Or cut my losses? You can disagree about tax policy and the zoning code and have a healthy relationship. You can't have a healthy relationship if you disagree about basic concepts of ethics and reality. End this. He supports a criminal dictator who hates women and minorities. Leave him. I don't like my partner. What should I do? Being a Trump supporter in 2025 isn't about politics. It's about being so thoroughly brainwashed that you blindly cheer on the world's most obvious conman, the most corrupt narcissist, a man who said he doesn't know if a president should follow the Constitution. It's insane he has even a single supporter. This isn't about politics. It's about being a good person. Break up with him, please, I'm begging you. There are so many men out there who will talk about military history with you and also think you deserve the right to vote. Opposites attract is bullshit. It might be cute for the first few dates, but seriously, a lifetime of having someone who disrespects your core tenets and values. My 32M wife, 29F, just told me she cheated on me. This is a throwaway account. We have been together since 2018. Moved in together August 2020, got engaged August 2021 and married October 2022. About a year into our marriage, 2023, we started seeing some cracks. We started being distant, not communicating clearly. My wife was very stressed out with her job and was working insane hours. She also traveled out of state to corporate HQ once a month. Our relationship was definitely suffering at this point. She didn't really have any time for me, us. I'm talking wake up at 6, start working, stop working at 10 p.m., go to bed. This went on for several weeks at a time. She occasionally found time and energy for her friends, but not for me. Our sexual life was suffering as well. I obliviously chalked it up to her job being stressful and blamed it on the company creating a toxic work environment. She finally left her job in May 2024 because she recognized it was unbearable. I thought she stuck with the job for way longer than she should have, but figured better late than never. And I thought now we could reconnect and things would get better again. I supported her taking as much time as needed to recover from her last job before jumping into a new one. We took a month-long international vacation together and things looked better. I felt connected again and I thought things would go back to the way they were before. Things started going downhill when we came back. My job was unbearable, she was still taking the time off. And both of us were caught in our own worlds. She was feeling depressed about not finding the right opportunity for a career pivot. She was also going to therapy for a lot of things I wasn't privy to. But she had been seeing a therapist for a while, so I didn't think twice about it. One weekend in October 2024 she wasn't acting typical, so I poked more than usual and coaxed it out of her. She wanted a divorce. I was devastated. I didn't know how all of a sudden we could from reconnecting to wanting to separate. I had been resistant to couples therapy before, probably a bad call on my part, but I would do anything to save this marriage. We started couples therapy immediately, and uncovered a bunch of issues, mine and hers, over the last 8 months. I have been working on improving my emotional availability, and making sure I can support her in the best way possible. We made so much progress. We felt connected again. We've started taking weekend getaways again. Our sex life has improved significantly. But something still felt amiss. My wife feels great about us, but not herself. And for the life of me I can't figure out why. Until today morning. She said she needed to talk to me before I hit the gym this morning. I was a little taken aback, but a key learning from therapy was to not run away when tough conversations come up. So I ask her to give it to me straight. This is when she tells me that she cheated on me. After further digging I find out the extent of the cheating. I found out that she was having a full-on affair with her boss, 48 M, for over 2 years starting March 2022 May 2024 when she left her job. Her boss is probably a sexual predator, psychopath who's now moved on to his next subordinate victim for his next affair. I am furious and devastated. I've spent last several hours crying, screaming and hitting walls around the house. I asked my wife to stay with her parents for the week. I don't have family in the area. We own our house, don't have any kids. We have a dog. I am an immigrant, so many things in the past are now starting to make sense. Small things that I didn't understand before with this new information make a ton of sense. I feel gaslit through couples therapy because a lot of it was about how I needed to improve, and express my feelings and be there for her. Which probably was true in part. I have been nothing but supportive over our entire relationship. This is probably just my perspective though, and while I know I was lacking in several areas, I was blissfully unaware of things under the surface. I'm feeling very angry, sad, and lost. I still very much love her and want to keep building a life with her. But I can't help but think if this will keep gnawing at me in the future. Where do I go from here? You can't ever get past 2 years of deception and the harm that caused your relationship. All your decisions during those bad times were based on falsehoods. You don't need Reddit to tell you your next move here, man. So was having an affair with her boss when you had your wedding? Jesus Christ, your wife is insanely deceitful and you will never be able to trust her again. And if you stick things out I don't see how she can respect you. I normally think people are too quick to suggest divorce, but here it is more than warranted. As an aside, save your anger for your wife. I'm not defending the boss, but she is the primary one who wronged you. Hello, please consider the following. She did not love you or respect you enough for 2 years to tell you the truth. She did not love you or respect you enough to tell you why she probably actually wanted a divorce. She just wanted to run away. She did not love you or respect you enough to be honest with you because she didn't want the consequences on herself. She let you kiss her and say I love you for at least 800 plus days, knowing that she cheated, and she probably said I love you back, I'm guessing. First of all, don't make excuses for her. Whatever her boss is, she is a cheater. On the subject of the boss, if he has a wife, she deserves to know. If you forgive her, all you'll be doing is sending the message she can get away with whatever she wants. Damn, that's like a double betrayal. She wasn't just cheating on you, she was fucking her boss while making you believe that you were the problem and making you do the work to fix it. That's some sick shit, bro. 32 is still a good age to reboot your life with a good woman who doesn't plan intricate schemes like a freaking sociopath. I'm really sorry about everything. This is an incredibly horrible situation, especially since it was building up. None of this was your fault. She made her decision to sleep with her boss. You should make the best decision for yourself. My wife, 32 female, wants me, 32 male, to give up video games. My main hobby is playing video games. I always prioritize my family over video games and only play when my son, 3-year-old, is sleeping and my wife is preoccupied with something, usually napping or on her phone. She's always viewed playing video games as a childish activity that a grown man shouldn't be doing, but I've just ignored it. Recently a component on my gaming computer broke, and when I told my wife it may cost $500 to replace, she was shocked at the price and said to wait until well after our child is born. She's 5 months pregnant with our second, and that I should be spending time with our family. She's a stay-at-home mom and I make enough money where we are very comfortable, so $500 is not a big deal to us. Family is my #1 priority, and when I reminded her that I only play when our son is sleeping and she is busy, she told me I should use that free time to be more productive. It's my perspective that her statement was extremely hypocritical, but I wasn't about to get into a huge argument. I decided that I'm just going to go through with fixing my computer ASAP and just ask for forgiveness later. Any suggestions on what I can tell my wife when she inevitably gets pissed at me? Tell her you'll give up video games if she gives up TikTok. Then watch her scramble to defend video games as stupid but TikTok as a nothing burger. I have been there before. I just sat down with my wife and told her, playing video games is my outlet. I have a lot going on. Work, sole provider, daily stress. This is my outlet. You might find it childish, but it's something I really enjoy. We are a gamer family and it's all about balance. She wants control, not balance. What hobbies does she have? How many hours a week does she do that? How many hours a week do you play video games? Oh come on, man up. Sit your wife down and figure out where the actual problem is. What is this productive she wants you to do? Dishes? Rub her feet? Where is her actual issue with your hobby? Or is she worried about money for some reason? There is more going on here than her just being a controlling monster trying to keep you from gaming because she has an old-fashioned view of video games, and even if that is it, then that still needs to be discussed, or it is going to be an eternal point of friction. Get a counselor involved if things deteriorate. The stress of an extra child is going to exasperate any existing problems and communication breakdowns. Nip that in the bud now. Unfortunately she's always viewed playing video games as a childish activity that a grown man shouldn't be doing, but I've just ignored it. Should have been a red flag. She never respected a hobby you love. Sorry brother, not a lot can save you from that. Married father here too, and I get 4 nights a week to game after the kids go to bed. My wife respected this since we met. How do I, 41F, deal with unexpected jealousy over my ex-husband's, 42M, new girlfriend? My, 41F, ex-husband, 42M, and I divorced when our son was 7. Fast forward to now, our son's 15, 16 in a few months. Somehow we managed to go from divorced and done to actually being pretty good friends. Like, we choose to hang out sometimes, not only when it involves our son, and we get along better than ever. It's worked out way better than I ever expected. My ex has started seeing someone new. They've been together for a little while now, but it started to get more serious lately. I've met her, but don't know her well. My son is around her a lot more than I am, and he likes her a lot. I hate that this bothers me. Like, I'm genuinely embarrassed by how irritated I felt hearing him say how nice she is, how fun she is, how she makes his dad happy. I plastered on a smile and said all the right things, but inside I was surprised by how jealous I felt. She doesn't like that my ex and I are friends. She's fine with us communicating for our son, but the idea of us hanging out just because we want to is an absolute no in her book. And he's started to pull back a little. He's not saying it out loud, but I can tell he's trying to adjust our dynamic to keep the peace in his new relationship. It stings. Months ago we planned a special trip for our son's 16th birthday, just the 3 of us. It was meant to be a shared memory, a kind of family-ish experience to mark a big milestone. It revolves around something my son is obsessed with, something my ex and I both enjoy too. But now the girlfriend's coming. Despite having no interest in the activity, I found out from my son, not my ex, which made it even worse. I haven't confronted him about it yet because I don't know how to bring it up without sounding jealous or possessive. But I'm honestly upset. It feels like a sacred little space that used to belong to the 3 of us is slowly being taken over. And I feel helpless to stop it without looking like the crazy ex-wife who can't let go. I didn't expect to feel this jealous, and I really don't want to come off as the crazy ex. But honestly, it feels like I'm losing way more than just a friendship here. I've worked really hard to be mature, supportive, and emotionally steady in this co-parenting journey. How do I manage these feelings without making it weird or damaging the progress we've all made? And how do I set boundaries, if I even can, without turning this into a drama-filled mess? Sounds to me like you're not over your ex. I don't know who ended it or why. It's great that you can effectively co-parent, but it's not normal to plan a shared memory trip with an ex, and frankly I don't know many people who'd be okay with their partner going away with an ex. Sacred little space that used to belong to the 3 of us is being taken over. Yeah, that's what happens in a divorce. This is a you problem. I think it's perfectly healthy for your ex to pull back now that he has a new partner in his life. You need to work through this in therapy, and I think it's a lot of jealousy that you just haven't worked through since your divorce and never had to confront. I would feel tremendously uncomfortable if my partner hung out with his ex alone. It's a bit inappropriate. Him moving on and finding a new partner means your dynamic has to change, which really sucks, but it's inevitable. No girlfriend wants to play third wheel to her own relationship. It seems appropriate that she come on a family trip, especially if she's on the way to becoming his family. It's time to put distance between you and him. Make new friends that aren't your ex. He's your ex. You're going to have to accept you can't control him and not necessarily rely on him for emotional and social support. Distance. Stop communicating unnecessarily. Stop doing weird shit like this. Months ago we planned a special trip for our son's 16th birthday, just the three of us. You're divorced, move on.